Libra. Good old Libra. Now, before we start with Libra, if you haven't watched the Astrology 101 talking about lords and houses and how they exist in your natal chart, have a look at that, because that's really going to help you understand where this Libra energy comes into your own chart. Now, maybe you've come onto this particular video because you're a Libra sun. And this isn't just about Libra sun. This is about Libra moons. This is about Libra risings. This is about how Libra exists in your chart, especially if it's quite strong. And that could also even mean if Libra is in your first house. So again, if you want to, you can look at the Astrology 101 video, and it really will help you understand how these houses exist and who rules those houses. Now, when we talk about rulers, we know that Libra rules the 7th house. And Libra overall is ruled by Venus. And I think this is a universal understanding that everybody understands. Venus is about love. Venus is about, all the pretty things and attraction. And it doesn't, it goes with this Libra energy. Libras don't have a problem attracting things, just because, and also even how it comes. The star of Venus is very easily seen in the skies, and I feel that is intentional, and I feel like that's kind of like the Earth's bestie in a way. It kind of works very well together. And I do feel like when it comes to, I like to say, because I have to preface this, if Leo and Scorpio had a baby, it'd be a Libra. You know what I mean? It's because Libras like pretty things. They like things to be balanced and beautiful. They come under the sign of the scales. They're literally the only sign that comes under an object. And so they want balance, right? And so they have it's like they want to merge with anything and everything they enjoy merging. They don't like just being in solitude. They like to merge with things. So whether it's a community or whether it's relationships, so at times it is relationships, they like to have this about them. And, a lot of the things that these Libra energies can have can be something that is beneficial to the sign, but also can be a little bit challenging, right? But it's about working through that. So let's say, okay, the strong aspect of Libra is that they like to merge, right? So if it's for a relationship, they want to make sure that they're fully integrated. But then sometimes the person they're integrating with could be a bit challenging, but they're going to try and do their best to work it through because they want to merge, right? And almost has an energy around that kind of does that. One thing I've understood about Libras is that they're never short of people being drawn, they're never short of people, whether it's relationships, friends, whatever. They're never short of it because 1, they're givers. 2, they like to merge. 3, they're generally quite attractive. And so people are just naturally drawn to them. So much of the time, it's like they're looking at things, they want things to be beautiful, they see things in a beautiful way, but they alchemize it differently. So Leo has those attributes where it says, I want to be the center of attention, and I want to look a certain way, I want to be a certain way. But then Libra does it in more of a logical way. There's this lady I've known for a very long time, and she was explaining about her logic, why she takes photos of herself. And she's a very attractive lady. And the logic behind it, I do this because there's nobody else to, if I quickly see that maybe, I can just take this photo and I'm looking a certain way, I'm going to take the photo of myself because I'm the object of my creativity. Whereas I could take pictures of other people that can maybe exude a certain energy that I want, but I'm the only person that can really do that. And so I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a Libra thing to say. And so they're more like craftsmen of beauty, of attention. It's a very different air, as opposed to Leo's. It's like, no, look at me. So yes, I feel like that there is some beauty in that aspect. And because they come under the sign of Venus, Venus will award them that. They will honor them with that. Like, hey, here's some friends. Hey, here's a community. Hey, they will have this naturally. And so with the power of that, you can then, with this energy, say, well, there would be a lot of people that would be drawn to this Libran energy. And it would have to be a level of discernment whether that works for you or not. But because that wanting to merge so much could, let's say it's not a good match, whether it's friends, work, whatever, right? But you're still going to just push through anyway, right? You're still going to, that's the Libran energy. So when you're looking in your chart, you see where that is, whether that's in your 10th house, which is talking about career, work, or whether it's in your first house, where it's looking at how you're seen by others, right? How you're seen to the world. These attributes can alchemize itself in different ways. So Libra is, what I've done, I've kind of looked at it in a way of, okay, the body parts when it comes to Libra, and even just coming to other signs, I do notice, like, for example, Taurus, which is also a Venetian sign, is governed by the throat. I've always noticed when it comes to Taurus, like their throat is always, they're always clearing their throat, or they're always like, they've like got a sore throat or something like that, right? And I was like wondering, like, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Like, or is it like maybe like something being overused or something like this, right? And much like where I see the other signs, so like Leo, for example, is governed by the heart, right? So a lot of things like maybe not be overstressed, so you can maybe not have high blood pressure or whatever. So Libra has like the lower back, generally the skin. We've got hips, kidneys, glands, hormones, but generally the skin. That these attributes come out. So if you have any areas where this is what it's governed by, it's more just taking note of it, really, because it's just going to be more focused in that area. And so maybe even like having sweet stuff or something like this, or being very focused on your health, because you know that there's the thing, everything is done very logically with Libra. It's like they're really detailed. They're very kind of like, if I'm going to be beautiful in this certain way, I know that I need to do this, this, and this. I feel like the Libras that I've come across, they can just like one day they can just look really ordinary, and then they can clean up very well. I think the same for Taurus. They can clean up very well. Like 1 minute you're like, they're like shapeshifters. And I'm like, whoa, you did not look like that yesterday, like, and I would say it's quite a magical thing. And I think it's a great attribute of Libra. What else would I say about Libra? I'd say that they have, because people are drawn to them in a more kind of like romantic or attractive way, they could side eye or could kind of like overlook their intelligence, especially when it comes to the women. Maybe not so much the masculine, but like the masculine energy. But yeah, they're very talented and they're very skilled. And I do feel like a lot of the time their love interest becomes, I would say that's kind of like a Leo thing as well, where everything just gets blown up and everybody knows your business. I feel like that's when it comes to relationship, that really gets heightened. There's something about that Venusian energy that really shows that to the world in some way. And it's in, like, for example, like with Cardi B, when she moved on and she moved on and she made a song about it, and I was just like, yes. I think everybody was happy for her. Like, I think she represented a group of people that was just like dealing with something for years and years. Because again, that Venusian energy, that Libra energy is like you want to stick with something, and people get it. They're like, yeah, I get it. But then after a while, you're like, wow, this person's really taking liberties of the fact that you want things to be a certain way. And now, and like everybody knows that you have the ability to move forward, because again, attraction, these things are not foreign to you. It's very easy. You walk out on the street, it's easy, you know? And so when that finally does happen, when it finally went, so even Cardi B, I think it was this year, right? And she just moved forward and she was just like, bye, and did a whole song about it. 10 out of 10. But I like when these stars, these celebrities, right, they kind of exude their star sign in a way of like breakthroughs, or even from what they have to go through when it comes to things like their star sign. I just find it so fascinating. Who else is it? Michaela Cole. So Michaela Cole is a British gal. I've had the privileges of meeting her a few times, and she is definitely somebody. I didn't think she was a Libra. I thought she was a Capricorn. So that's interesting. But maybe she's got some strong Capricorn energy. But yeah, like her being, seeing her rise in fame, like I feel like, and seeing just what was happening around her. Again, there was almost like this kind of thing that you was hearing about her, and I'm like, why am I always hearing things? Like, why am I hearing things about her love life? Like, why is that happening? And it's that Venetian energy. It's like, I just feel like it's part of the process, you know? And because they can alchemize that, because they can use that, oh man, I was just thinking of a lyric that Lil Wayne had said, like, because he uses it. It's something like, if he knew he was going to jail, he would have like slept with his attorney or something like this. But like, that is probably the dark side of using his energy, to be fair. Okay. But like, in terms of using like Venetian energy, it's very much about saying, okay, I have this potential to be able to alchemize and draw people to me, but what are the type of people I'm drawing to me? What am I doing there? And really, how am I, how does it serve my best interest? And I feel like, I think the beauty of Libras is that they go through like these really kind of really hard processes when it comes to relationships, and it really kind of comes through, and everybody feels it, you know. When Michaela Cole did "I May Destroy You," that whole show, I had to stop. It was almost like a thriller book. Like, it was almost like on a psychological level. I had to say, whoa, pause. You know, Kim Kardashian, when she went through her processes, and I was like, I was so happy for her. Like, I don't even know, like, yeah, I don't know these people, but for whatever reason, this energy is always kind of like pinpointing or nodes or markers to how things are going globally, you know, in terms of relationships, or in terms of how people are deciding to deal with relationships, from my observation anyway. But yeah, so the Libra energy, how it shows up in your chart, can show up in a multiple of ways, but it's being able to intuitively and literally see how this Libra energy works in certain parts of your chart. So, yeah, so I've talked about relationships. So that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more. And yeah, speak to you soon. Bye.